Hey everybody, I'm Greg Sowell, and this is Why Am I, a podcast where I talk to interesting people and try and trace a path to where they find themselves today. My guest this go-around is Geoffrey Mark. So this cat started in show business at around 15 and hasn't stopped since. He's done Broadway, he dances, sings, is a comedian, and just to fill some time in between, is a best-selling author. Dude stays busy, so he has some invaluable advice on grief, life, and talent. Oh, and don't forget to sparkle like Geoff. Geoff, thanks for joining me on the Why Am I podcast today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Happy to be here with you and all of our friends out there.
Yeah, absolutely. This is one of those, I don't know, kismet, meant to be. I needed somebody to fill a spot this week and somehow stumbled upon you that you had messaged me ages ago, and here we are connected up. I love it when stuff comes together like this.
I do too, and I love, sparkling for people, so you're giving me another opportunity to make people happy.
Brother, that is, I think, is one of the core tenets of life, why we exist. Everybody asks, why do we exist? I think it's to bring a little shine, a little sparkle in others' lives. I like that you're being literal about it.
Well, this wasn't my idea. A very, very long time ago, there was a wonderful comedian named Rip Taylor.
Yeah,
He came and saw me perform in Los Angeles. And we went out to dinner afterwards with a voiceover actor you may have heard of, Chuck McCann. And the three of us went to dinner. I got the check, but it was worth it. And Rip said to me, "Geoffrey, you are brilliant on stage." Am I allowed to curse on this show?
Absolutely.
But you're dressed like a fucking accountant. And he sent me to a store in West Hollywood that he thought had some things that might be good for me. It was hooker wear. It was see-through blouses and stiletto boots long before that became popular. And, mini skirts and jock straps. But there was one thing there. It was a hat that wasn't sequined like this one is, but it had little mirrors all over it. And I thought, that could be fun on stage. And I asked him how much it was. It was $50. I said, for a laugh on stage, $50, I don't think I want to spend the money. The next day, I was leaving on my very first cruise as an entertainer. And I went to eat dinner at the restaurant that housed these little boutique stores. The French Market, it's gone now. Wonderful place. That they were my sponsor on radio when I had the Geoffrey Mark show on KRLA. And I was sitting right by the store, minding my own business, reading a comic book and having a sandwich. And the same guy comes over, puts the hat on my head and said, just like this in my face, "You need this. $5. And I was about to be a good New Yorker and say, "Why are you in my space?" $5? 6 hours ago was $50. Then I heard the words, "You need this." All right. So when I got on the cruise ship, it's Holland America, I'll give them a plug. We had rehearsal, and I told the lighting guy, after the cruise director introduces me, black out the stage. I want no ambient light at all. Hit me with a spotlight from about where this would fall on my chest to about here above me, and just follow me, because I work like a lion when I'm working. I'm back and forth across the stage. And blah, 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 Geoffrey Mark. And you get wonderful applause because you're at sea. They've got nothing else to do. They want you to be good.
Mm-hmm.
But all of a sudden, laughter. I mean, huge laughter. Because in that first time, I was wearing a three-piece suit and this hat that made my head look like it was on fire. And I let the laughter die down a little bit. There's a sweet spot when you're doing comedy where you don't want to step on your own laugh, but you also don't want the laugh to fade. So I waited for that sweet spot. And I said, "What? I haven't done anything yet." And again, this huge laughter. It was the right audience, the right night. They had enough alcohol in their systems. And, I looked around the stage like I had dropped something. Was there someone? I was playing into the laughter. And I waited for that sweet spot again. I did this. And I turned my phone off, and I don't know how that happened. It's your electricity that made that happen just now. But I can go right back to the story. I cocked my head and I said, "What? The hat?" And I just sort of crossed my hand like this and stared at them. I got a 2-minute laugh. Now, 2 minutes on a nightclub stage or a proscenium stage is forever. I just stood there and stood there and stood there and stood there. I let the laugh die. And then I told them how I happened to have this hat on my head. And I took it by the bill, just throw it away. I got my laugh. And as one, the audience said, "No." I said, "You like this?" "Yes." All right. So I did my show with the hat on. Part of your contract on a ship when you're working like that is you must go out and press the flesh. You must, kiss hands and shake babies and give autographs and be a presence. And I'd left the hat on the dressing room floor. $5, that's all I need out of it. "Where's the hat? Where's the hat? Where's the hat?" All right. Went back, dusted off the hat, put it back on. And gave autographs and gave hugs and took pictures with people, the stuff they want. And then I just walked the ship to all the different lounges and things just to be a presence. What I didn't know was that they had videotaped my show. It was my first time on ship. It didn't occur to me that they did that. And they showed my show at 11:30 for the people who were addicted to having a talk show at that hour. So the next day when I went out for brunch, everybody on the ship, the theater was full. But now the crew has seen it, the captain has seen it, the people who couldn't fit in the theater had seen it. I walked literally 10 feet outside of my cabin. "Where's the hat? Where's the hat? Where's the hat?" If it had been a Bugs Bunny cartoon, a light bulb would have come up over here. And I said, "Ooh, I found something." I wore the hat for the rest. There was a cruise to Hawaii. I wore the hat to the rest of the cruise. The next cruise, I had 3 hats. The next cruise, I had 8 hats. Then started the sequin vests and the sequin scarves and the jewelry and the glasses and sequin shoes. And I have an entire wardrobe in a closet filled with sequin stuff. And you know what? It made me a star. It's very strange. I changed nothing about how I was performing, just how I looked. And the audience liked the hook. And God bless you. Thank you. Thank you, Rip, because it changed my life.
That's so funny. It sounds like, from your story, it sounds like the hat started as a bit, but it sounds like you really incorporated it. You've kind of enveloped it into part of your personality.
I don't leave my house without something sparkly on.
Really?
Well, you learn lessons from people. Do you remember Gilligan's Island?
Yeah, absolutely. I watched it every morning while I was eating my cereal.
Well, there you go. Well, Marianne, Dawn Wells, was one of my closest friends in life. And I was going over to her house one night, where we're bringing in like Chinese food being delivered. So, she was in a t-shirt and pulled back hair and no makeup. I showed up in a t-shirt and shorts and a hat. I did have a hat on. But she said, "No, Geoffrey. No. I said, "What do you mean, no? She said, "You never, ever leave your house, Geoff." She said, "You're becoming a star. Every time you leave your front door, it's a personal appearance. Put something on your eyes to open up your beautiful but beady little eyes. Always wear a sparkly hat. Always wear jewelry. Always be camera ready, because the time that you don't is the time someone's going to click you with their phone, and you're going to end up in one of those scandal magazines." And she was right. So I never, ever leave my house without looking like I'm ready to take a picture with somebody.
Does that feel like you always kind of have to be on your guard a little bit? Like you always have to be prepared?
No, I'm always, look, I wake up prepared. You do shows 5 minutes, Mr. Mark. Yeah, I was born ready. I'm ready now. Just making sure that I have enough glamour going that people know who I am. But no, I see, there are a lot of celebrities who like their privacy. I don't. You're coming over to a table while I'm eating dinner at a restaurant? Yay, come over. You want my autograph? Of course. You want to buy something, a CD or a book? Yes. Happy. Oh, it's your birthday? Let me sing happy birthday to you. Oh, you have a charity? I'll be happy to come do a few songs. I don't find that to be a burden. I love meeting my fans. I love meeting, first of all, I am so grateful that they are fans. I am grateful that there are, and this is going to sound so egotistical, it's just a fact, millions of people out there who know who I am and bless their hearts, enjoy my work. Yay. One of the fun things, and it's become even more clever of a line, that I wear different hats in show business. But being an actor, and I used to be a dancer, a singer, a jazz singer, a stand-up comedian, a producer, a director, an author of best-selling books, a host of radio shows. My work has reached a lot of people. And I'm just, it's what I always wanted. I've known since I was 2 years old, this is what I wanted my life to be. And with grace from heaven and a lot of hard work on my part and some incredible people mentoring me. I've been mentored by Milton Berle and Jack Carter and Steve Allen and Shelley Berman and, Lucy Arnaz and Lucille Ball. How lucky can a man be to have incredibly talented people recognize the talent in you and try to help you develop it properly? So I always call myself the luckiest guy in the world. Not that I haven't had problems in my life, not that everything has been, everything's coming up roses 24 hours a day, but I plug into the gratitude. And I find the more grateful I feel, the more good things come my way.
Yeah.
Like you.
Yeah. I very much.
Here's to you, sir.
Back at you, big guy. I very much. I like to say yes to things. I like to embrace people as they come at me. Obviously, I've never quite been in the situation you're in, where literally everyone around me sees me as a celebrity, like on your cruise ship experiences. And it's funny you say you've got the hat. Well, I've developed this mustache that's become my I don't know, I guess my calling card or my trademark.
It suits your face, and it does. It makes you stand out.
Well, the I started it as a joke, and what I found is it lessened the severity of my resting expression. So it kind of has like this faux smile. So my wife tells me I have like resting angry face. And it's true to form. Like we would walk up to the hostess at a restaurant or something, and they'll look at both of us, and then they'll look at her and just engage her. It's like, for whatever reason, she's got like this nice open, just this resting kind face, and mine was a lot more severe. So I've noticed with the mustache, people are a little bit less timid to talk to me.
You've had a big smile on your face ever since, even before we went on the air, just talking about the show. You've been smiling big. So yay, because it's a handsome smile.
Well, I mean, you're bringing all this energy. How could I not be excited and happy to talk? My goodness.
I appreciate that. Oh, because, the things I'm telling you about make me very happy.
Yeah.
And I love being interviewed, and I love doing the interviewing. So I look forward to podcast work or being on someone's TV show or radio show. I enjoy it. This isn't like, oh gosh, I have to do. No, it's like, hurry up. Can we get to it sooner? I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. I love talking.
I'm excited to be in show business.
That's
I
cool.
got started professionally when I was 15 and a half, and I've been doing it ever since. So it satisfies my soul. Yay. I say no to almost nothing. I wish I'd said no to a couple of personal relationships that were disastrous. But even with that, I had incredible good luck because do you want to get into my personal life at all?
Yeah, let's dig in. Let's get dirty.
Oh,
Let's
sure.
get mucky.
It's not mucky. It's just, it isn't that I don't like talking about this or me. It's just I'm sensitive to our friends out there who are watching or listening, that I don't offend or get so personal that it's uncomfortable for them. I don't think it's a huge secret that I'm gay. I've never hidden that from an audience from day one. I was doing stand-up at 17. I never did jokes that would make people think I was something I wasn't. I've always tried to be really honest with my audiences. But I met the love of my life when I was 13, about to turn 14. It was my first day of high school, and in those days, high school started in 10th grade. So I was 13 walking into the 10th grade, and I apologize for the noises. I keep turning my phone off, and it literally keeps coming on by itself. It's your Greg, it's your incredible energy, but it's doing this.
No, you don't have to worry about it because the call here filters it all out. All I hear is your voice.
Very good, sir. So I found myself enrolled in a musical comedy class. Wow, how lucky is that? In a brand new high school that had a literal theater attached to it. I don't mean an auditorium, I mean a theater with an orchestra pit and professional catwalk lighting and dressing rooms and a scene shop to build things.
So where's this that you're growing up?
Well, I was born, and to me, I was raised in Brooklyn, New York. That's where I was born. That's where most of my heart, you say, where's home? Brooklyn, New York. But we were living in a suburb of Baltimore at this time called Randallstown. So this is Randallstown Senior High School. And the man who was running that musical theater class, for those of you who are fans of the Mary Tyler Moore Show, he looked just like Ted Grant on the show. Big shock of white hair, handsome, a little thick about the middle. He was 52. He was openly gay because, as he said, I'm fully vested in my pension. I make more money singing in commercials and modeling than I make being a teacher. They can't fire me unless I do something really, really bad. So I just don't care anymore. And I admired him for that. But he put me together with the oldest kid in the class, who was 17. He was about 4 months away from being 18. He was only 1 year ahead of me in school because his mother had kept him back, because he had been a professional actor since he was like 5. And 1 year his mother kept him out of school to do a show. Well, we kind of looked at each other as I walked towards him. He cocked his head the way dogs do as he saw me coming at. It's like, who is this creature? I'm going to leave out some of the stickier details, only because it's been 5 years since he passed away last week, and I don't want to get all emotional. No one wants to hear me cry. But I will tell you that it was instant. Our souls meshed together instantly. That both of our fathers were tremendous homophobes and child molesters and crooks. And he was terrified of his father and got beaten because of me. So our relationship went underground, and he chose to marry very wealthy women. He produced 2 children to prove he was straight. I say. And although he was married and I had relationships coming and going, we were still a couple for 47 years. And he died of lung cancer 5 years ago. So again, I have known true soulmate love over a very long period of time. And it's part of what makes me who I am. There's a lot of him in me. And I already heard the jokes you're telling yourselves. And A, don't assume anything. And B, shame on you.
Hey, what happens in the safety of my head has nothing to do with anybody else.
I know. I'm making a joke. I wanted to make you laugh because it got so heavy.
No.
It's what Daddy Thomas used to call a treacle cutter. When things get a little too sticky or uncomfortable or emotional, go to a joke and let the audience sort of laugh off their a little bit of tension.
And that's absolutely what I do. That's my go-to. Believe it or not, I'm the person like having uncomfortable laughter with this person sitting next to me at funerals and things like that. It's my, I don't know, it's like my pressure relief valve. You know, it's how I deal with that stuff. 47 years.
Yeah.
I think even 6 months of having somebody that truly understands you is a rare thing in this world. So 47 years is amazing.
We had each other's backs. We spoke the same language somehow. We had different issues in our lives. We both, unfortunately, dealt with drugs and alcoholism. I'm 34 years, almost 35 years clean and sober. My guy's name was Joel Kabik, for those of you who care. And he and I got sober independently, but at the same moment. There was always that synchronicity in our lives. And he tried really hard from the bottom of his heart. But he couldn't, this is my opinion, reconcile who we were with what he thought spirituality demanded, which was to be totally straight. I think maybe that's why the 12-step programs didn't work for him. Because when push came to shove, you have to be completely honest with yourself and with whatever people you're working with. He just couldn't. I would fly across the country and attend meetings with him and meet his sponsors and meet the people he went to. Is it true? Is it true? It's like, well, is what true? Are you as close as Joel says you are? I mean, you're a celebrity, and he's, I said, well, first of all, he's a celebrity too. He works on the radio. And secondly, whatever he said, as close that we are, multiply that by 100. And he took pride in that, and it scared him. So it was a very unusual relationship. But my heart and my soul have known true romantic love. And yes, I'm terribly, terribly lonely without him. And 5 years out, I still haven't figured out how to live without him. But I do. And if I met the right person, I am open to love again.
That's amazing.
Are you hearing me, people out there? I'm open to love again. Send your applications to Greg Sowell, and he will look through them and choose the right people.
I'm gonna filter that. Oh my gosh, that sounds like a very hairy dating reality TV show. I don't know if I'm ready for that kind of.
Well, I'm a very hairy guy, if that makes it easier.
Me too, brother. It connects from toe to top. But
yeah, me too.
Sometimes I think about situations like that. Like, I think I've found my person, like my other human that really clicks with me. And we have our ups and downs, obviously, like anybody else does. But I also sometimes think about the randomness of the world. I heard somebody recently, a professor from Oxford, who's he just wrote a book about like randomness and kind of the world. And he said, humans control nothing, but we influence everything.
Yeah.
I found that to be almost liberating in a way, because it's absolutely true. I was having a conversation with my wife. She was saying, like, sometimes people you meet have an impact on you. And I said, if you think about it, literally every single person you ever meet has an impact on you, some greater than others. And
it's part of why I enjoy meeting people. That people stop me in a supermarket. By the way, you have people who are watching this on video as well as listening to it on audio. He's got much better lighting than I do. At the moment, the sun is all over. I think, I look terrible right now, but I can't stop the show to go fix the blinds. So just understand that beneath these shadows is an incredibly sexy man.
Yeah, man of mystery. I like it. I think it's
waiting
working
for you to reach out to him. A man of mystery, yeah. I'm so easy with sharing things about my life. It's like I have been told I'm difficult to get to know. It's like, how?
Yeah.
I will talk about anything.
But you know what? I find, because I am very much the same way, I will tell anybody anything at any time of the day. Like I have zero problems with it. But that behavior I found can be somewhat polarizing because I think it scares some people. It's
Well, I
abnormal.
scare people all the time.
Yeah, it's aberrant. But you know what I've found is I really quickly find who my people are and who they aren't. And
Yes.
so it's a really good barometer.
Oh, Greg,
It's a
you and
good
I are going to
litmus
be
test.
such close friends. I can tell.
I got as soon as I saw a few of your pictures with all the sparkles, I was like, yeah, this is my people right here. I get this guy.
Thank you. Likewise.
But bring it back, like the odds of you being born,
Yes.
the odds of your friend being born, the odds of you being in close proximity at the simultaneous moment where you guys could actually meet.
Well,
is
if you
so
want to make it even
astronomical.
bigger, Joel was adopted.
Oof.
And by the DNA tests we did on him, his people are, British and Welsh. So Eastern European Jewish people adopted him. That's not his background. So that he was adopted in this country to those specific people in Maryland, a place I had never really been much except to go visit relatives in Washington, D.C. And that because of my father's alcoholism and drug addiction, we moved around the country a bit.
Mm.
And it certainly was not my idea to land in suburban Baltimore, one of the dullest places I've ever been in my entire life, although it has great food there.
Mm.
But I met people there who changed my life. So that whole "it was meant to be" thing. It's not just Joel. It's the teachers I had who told me I should be a writer. It's the musical theater teacher and the drama teacher who said, "Oh, you're going into show business with your talent." Because I knew I wanted to be in the business, but I didn't know how much talent I had. I was greener than grass.
Hmm.
And a woman who's still in my life named Phyllis Viana, who I also met in the same class. She's my sister, and I'm the godfather to her sons. I met one of my closest friends in the world in elementary school there in 5th grade, and we're still very, very close friends. So I'm grateful to Maryland for the people it gave me and the shrimp salad sandwiches and the incredible crab meat Subway sandwiches there. But you're right. Everybody you meet makes an impact. And I make an impact. That's why I love meeting people in stores and in restaurants and in supermarkets. I have never, ever asked for special treatment anywhere. I don't believe in that. But I'm grateful that I am. I don't stand online to go to the bank. I don't wait to get a table at a restaurant. Not because I've demanded it, because people are nice. And they appreciate me and I appreciate them back. I never know when people stop me. Like, what are they going through? What is their trouble today? Maybe a smile from me or a quick, 'cause I'll do that sometimes. I'll give a quick song. Maybe that turns their day around. Since I don't know that's the truth, I just assume, all right, I have an opportunity here to make somebody happy. And I will always go for that. If I'm like not feeling well, etc., I don't go out. If I'm out and about, you need a song, you need a joke, you need a monologue, you need a hug, I'm there.
Why do you feel like that's? It almost sounds like, and this is me projecting, right? It almost sounds like you feel like it's your responsibility to do these things. Like it's
Greg, it's everybody's responsibility to do this.
But
You said it.
why do you feel that it's your responsibility? And so many of the people around us like don't have that. Like, where does that come from?
I was born that way.
Yeah, this is the earliest you can remember.
Well, another interesting thing about me, I have a very strange brain because I remember being 9 months old.
Wild.
I remember being potty trained. I remember my first solid food.
Whoa.
My first glass of chocolate milk. I remember all of it.
That's wild.
So I am very aware of what I thought I was very lucky. My maternal grandparents were two of the nicest people I've ever met in my life. Their hearts were so full of love for other people. Their home was open to everyone. You need a meal? Come over. You're having troubles? Come over. We'll have coffee and cake. We'll talk. Even when they were older than I, they were going to food places and serving the homeless to give back because they felt they'd gotten a full life. It was on them. I'm Jewish, and really, if you boil down the Jewish religion to one word, it's justice. They felt it was just to give back, and that's how I was taught. That's how I grew up. I'm not a saint. I don't polish a halo. Certainly, I meet people I don't like particularly, but I go way out of my way not to treat people badly. Yeah. And to be open to loving someone when I meet them, that they have to prove to me they aren't worth it. Not that they are worth it. They have to prove to me that they aren't worth it. And there's a long list of people who have proved to me that they just were not worth it. And my opinion then is, I wish you well. No, step back a little bit. I wish you well. No, keep going. Go back farther. Go back farther. Hey, over there where I can hardly see you, I wish you well. Over there. But get out of my space.
Yeah.
So I don't wish bad things for anyone. I try so hard not to have negative thoughts because it affects the whole body.
Absolutely.
How can I possibly be this devastatingly attractive with negative thoughts in my head?
I know. Well, I mean, it's a hell of a burden to carry around with you. I'm surprised you've made it this long, but I applaud you more than anything else just for that.
It's a funny thing, Age. When I was a young actor in New York, all I had to do was put on a tight pair of pants, and I had it made. I was very popular, and was a part of that middle late 70s, early 80s. The Studio 54 thing, and add 4 more L's to that, naughty stuff that was available in New York back then. I was a part of it, possibly because I was so lonely for Joel, possibly because I was a very healthy, good-looking young man in show business. And I took advantage of it. So, I've got stories that I'm sure your listeners and our friends out there don't want to hear. But on the other hand, changing the subject, I guess, a little bit, if Joel and I could have lived together from the beginning of things, I don't know that I would have ever been intimate with anybody else.
Really?
Well, I have eyes. I know what attracts me. And a lot of things attract me. When I was young, I went after them. Joel, here's my type. All right, so those of you who are filling out the application right now that you're going to send to Greg to be my new partner, I like darker people, Italians, Greeks, Latinos, Middle Eastern people. I like jet black hair. I like very dark mustaches and beards. I like dark eyes. I like guys who are a little stocky but muscular. I like a little body hair. My Joel had dark blonde hair, the palest skin I've ever seen on anybody. He barely had any body hair. I mean, even under his arms, it was like fuzz. And yet, that's what I wanted. So there's, what your eye sees and you go, mm-hmm. And then there's what your heart feels. And I didn't need a smorgasbord of people. I just wanted the one person who was my soulmate. And I honestly believe if we could have lived that life, there would never have been anybody else.
Hey.
Unless he wanted to add someone to the mix. But left to my own devices, I was a busy boy. And I do talk about all of that stuff a lot more thoroughly in my memoir, which is probably coming out in 2025.
2025. Is there going to be an audio version of this?
If they'll let me do it, of course.
I always ask
books,
authors that because I never really read books, but I love to consume audiobooks.
Some of the books I write, like the Lucy book you can see behind me here, those of you who have video watching, it wouldn't lend itself because it's full of facts and figures and opinions about her work. And the new Lucy book, which is coming out in about a year, is just much bigger and more. And Steve Allen wrote the original foreword for the book, and now Fran Drescher has written a new one for this book. But other books lend themselves very well to audio. So my autobiography is called The Devil Was Born in Brooklyn. And you're going to have to read the book to find out who the devil was or is. And I pretty much decided after the new Lucy book and this book, I'm done writing books. One really cannot make a living writing books anymore unless you are a huge, much, much, much bigger star than I and want to spend 3 chapters discussing your penis. Other than that, books don't sell enough because like you said, you don't read anymore. You listen. And that's just how life has changed. So, I'm much happier these days doing comedy and singing. Singing satisfies my soul. Making people laugh satisfies my soul.
So looking at your, while you're speaking of singing, I'm looking at your Instagram. I see you've got, I don't know, is it a fascination, an obsession with, is it Ella Fitzgerald?
Well, I knew her. I worked for her at the end of her life, and I've written 2 books about her. So I'm not a fanboy. It's professional to professional. But yes, yeah. I think Ella Fitzgerald was the greatest singer who ever lived. And I've been, very, very fortunate to have great success because of those things I've written. And I'm Grammy nominated for doing, there was a 4 CD boxed set in the 90s of her work from the first 20 years of her life. There had been a lawsuit and they couldn't bring any of that work out on CD. They settled the lawsuit and I wrote an 82-page booklet, chose the songs and sequenced them, and I was nominated for a Grammy, which, again, for those of you who have video, this is the nomination thing is right where my finger is, as opposed to my Emmy, which is right over there. I've been a really lucky guy. Really, 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 really blessed.
I've noticed the people that seem to work the hardest have the most luck as well. So I think those two tend to go hand in hand.
I've known people who have worked very, very hard who don't care about other people. I think the people who work the hardest are the most successful. There's several things about show business. You have to have talent. It's not something you can't learn. Talent. Like Ethel Merman used to sing, "You either got it or you ain't." And boys, I got it. Then there's developing that talent. And that you can turn to other people for. Then there is the understanding that in show business, it's not a, you don't get a weekly paycheck. You go from project to project to project. And you can make a lot of money. And then a year can go by, you haven't made anything. So it's a very unusual life financially. It's a very unusual life for people who like structure. Yeah, don't go into show business. If you like to get up at 7:45 every morning and have the same breakfast every day, yeah, show business, not for you. And then there's the business part of show business, which is a whole different ballgame. And I love hearing rumors about myself. There are rumors about me that I am a multi-millionaire who's cheap and pretends he doesn't have the money.
Cool.
That's the story, right? And you know what? I'm not going to deny that or say it's true one way or the other. I love when people gossip like that about me. I just find it terribly amusing. But I should have more money than I do. When I was making huge money in show business, I helped a lot of people. I should have helped myself first and then helped other people. Instead, I helped other people, and then what was left over, it took care of me.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sorry I did that, but as I'm getting older, I would love some of that money back.
Right.
To make my life easier these days. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not broke. I'm just, there's levels of things. I can't imagine my doing anything else other than show business. And I've known it since I was 2 years old. On Monday nights on CBS, way back a long time ago, on Monday nights, they had the television shows To Tell the Truth, I've Got a Secret, and The Lucy Show. 1, 2, 3. It was the only time my whole family sat together and watched stuff. My parents, my grandparents, my great-grandmother. My grandmother thought that Kitty Carlisle, who was kind of like the queen of To Tell the Truth, was the prettiest, classiest woman in the world with the best taste and the best manners. And she would point to Miss Carlisle. Geoff, look how she did that. Look, that guy just insulted her. Look how she laughed it off. Look how she posed her question so there wasn't a dangling preposition at the end. Look how she did. And my mother and she would fight. Ma, he's 3 years old. What does he need with Kitty Carlisle? And one night my grandmother got angry at her and said, you don't even know your own son. These are the people that he's going to be dealing with when he grows up. He better learn how to fit in with them. One day, he's going to be in Kitty Carlisle's apartment laughing about you. 40-something years later, I was in Kitty Carlisle's apartment. My grandmother had passed by this point. And her legal name was Kitty Carlisle Hart. I called her Mrs. Hart. And Mrs. Hart invited me over for a visit. And I got to watch her take a voice lesson. And I was very happy to bring a copy of my Ethel Merman book over to her, to autograph it to her. We didn't laugh. We cried. Over loss. And I told her, if I've accomplished nothing else in my career except that this happened, and I didn't make it happen, she contacted me. This is exactly what my grandmother said. This is what she predicted. It's come true. I'm satisfied. My great-grandmother, her mother, used to sit me on her lap with my behind between her legs because she was like 90 and skinny. And she would say to me in Yiddish, you have to go to school. You have to write well. Important people are going to be reading what you write. So please learn how to write really, really well. How the hell could she know that would be that I'd be Grammy nominated for my writing, or be a best-selling author, or that I'd be writing comedy for other people? I don't know. I think my great-grandmother and my grandmother may have had some intuition into these things. But I believed them, which is why I taught myself to read at 2.5 and to write. Because I had to get started. Time's ticking.
That's wild. That's wild. You had no choice.
I'm sure I had a choice. I'm sure I had a choice, but in my young mind, there was no choice.
Right.
Of course, that's the way I'm going. Their words spoke to my soul, and I recognized the truth of the words instantly. I'm sure well-meaning, but claptrap my mother was teaching me about, you're going to go to school and you're going to become a doctor and you're going to get married when you're 20 and you're going to have 4 children and you're going to live with this, wonderful, you're going to be a doctor and you're going to be rich and you're going to have children, you're going to give me grandchildren and you're going to take care. It's like, no. I knew that was never a truth for me. And I had to live my truth.
I think that's fortunate that you knew from an early age what it is you wanted to do. There's so many people I meet, because I end up interfacing with a lot of young people kind of like going into college, early college, and they're just trying to find themselves. trying to figure out what do I do. It feels like there's so much pressure on people. Like I've got this 6-month window to figure out what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. And oh, by the way, if I screw this up, I've ruined everything. And so I was fortunate enough at an early age to know exactly what I wanted to do, although it's morphed over time, right? But I'm still sort of in that same genre of things. And so I feel fortunate. And I just, from that early an age, I think I was 15 when I figured it out. So I think it takes so much pressure off. It's like it was an inevitability. I knew what I was going to do. Like it was going to happen.
Yeah.
I didn't even have to think twice about it.
We don't always know how we're going to get from here to there, but I knew that there was out there waiting for me.
Yeah.
There's a wonderful phrase. It sounds like such a tried cliche. Your talent will tell you what to do. And I think that's one of the things that separates out talented amateurs in show business, or people who thought they should be in the business but never got anywhere. If their talent wasn't telling them what to do, they didn't have enough talent.
Yeah.
Because everywhere along the way where I've had a new challenge, I knew what to do. Professionally, I'm speaking. My personal life, I'm as stupid as everybody else. But, going from doing dinner theater to summer stock to off-Broadway to Broadway to nightclubs, doing stand-up, singing jazz. Then I started writing. I started producing and writing for television. It's not like I went to a class for all of that. The only thing I ever went to a class for was dancing, because I knew in that arena, I did not have enough talent to trust what my talent told me. I needed to dance well enough that I could go to auditions and dance and get jobs. But I knew that I needed to be trained. So I did go to ballet class and jazz class and tap dancing classes, just so I could compete with other people to get jobs. But my acting, my singing, my humor, my directing ability, because I directed several shows, it's in me. And when the task came at hand, my talent told me what to do.
Yeah, I love that.
And then when you have people like Steve Allen and Shelley Berman, and Mary Martin giving you advice on your career, or Carol Channing or Kate Ballard, or the wonderful, wonderful, wonderful people in my life, that's the luck. That's just blessing, 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 blessing.
Well, luck, I mean, yes, but also the fact that you were open to accept that advice, that mentorship. Like for so much of my life, I couldn't listen to anybody. Like my brain just wouldn't accept help from anybody or any guidance or anything. And I missed out on some stuff. I ended up where I needed to be, but the fact that you were also open to that is, I think, probably a testament to, how much you've progressed in your career too. Like the more help you accept, probably the better you're going to end up.
Whenever help was offered to me, at the very least, I suited up and showed up. I meet young people today who want help. All right, come to my house for Tuesday for lunch and we'll talk. Well, that's not convenient. And can't you just get me a job? They don't really want to hear anything. They don't want any input. They don't even want to show up for a coffee meeting to discuss their careers. Unless you can just give them a job. Well, nobody ever just gave me a job. But anybody who showed an interest in my career, and hey, maybe they were less talented than I, or maybe they were full of crap, but I showed up and investigated. I was open to investigating. And that always seems to work.
It paid off.
We were talking about my Joel dying. That was a really hard 10 days for me 5 years ago. I'm talking about friends and people who helped. Because within a 10-day period, Carol Channing died, Kate Ballard died, dear friends. And a man whose name was a producer named Larry Germain passed away. And that was one of the hardest weeks of my life, because I was almost like afraid to turn my computer on to find out who in my personal life had just passed away. Took a long time to heal. The pain, folks, if you're out there and you've lost someone dear, dear, dear to you, and people are rushing you to get over it,
Right.
you never get over it. You learn how to deal with it.
Mm.
The pain of Joel's loss has not ebbed 1 inch since the day he died. I've learned how to handle it and move forward in my life, not stay stuck in that day, which is also odd. We talked about my mother and my grandmother and my great-grandmother. I was in bed in this house very, very, very early one morning, and I sat up in bed and said, "Oh my God, he died." And I called my stepdaughter Julia and I said, "Sweetheart, where are you?" Because she sounded like happy. "Oh, I'm at the hospital." I said, "Yeah. Are you in Daddy's room?" "Oh, no, I'm downstairs smoking a cigarette." I said, "Well, you should go upstairs. Daddy just passed away." She said, "No, I left him 10 minutes ago." He was very, 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 very sick, but he was still, his eyes were open. And I said, "Go, call me back." And about a half an hour later, she said, "How did you know?" I said, "The minute he died, I knew." That's a soulmate. That's a connection that is how, whatever you believe spiritually is heaven sent. You can't go shopping for that. That is just a gift. Like I said, I'm the luckiest guy on the planet.
Geoff, that is such a beautiful note to close on, because I know you've got some.
I've got places I have to be.
You gotta be, and it's not here talking to me and speaking to these people.
Oh no, I'm very happy talking to you.
I am very happy listening. I could sit here and this was not even close to enough time. So I really appreciate it.
We will do this again.
Okay.
And we'll do some of this off mic too, so we get to know each other better.
For sure.
The last thought, I was talking about grief. Everybody's grieving process is different. Take as long as you need to grieve. Don't stop living life because of it.
Right.
That you can't do. But the first year Joel was gone, every day, all day long, I did what I had to do in life. And at night, I'd cry my eyes out for hours until my doctors said, you were shredding your lungs. You got to find some way to stop crying and just deal. But, this week was his 5th anniversary. I had a couple of people here in my house. I sang our song, which was "I Got Lost in His Arms." And I finished it and then ran into my bedroom and cried my heart out. So the pain doesn't go away. You can still be a happy person, be in pain at the same time. They're not mutually exclusive. So keep your chins up, reach out to people you trust, and share what you're feeling. Don't keep it inside. And let it start to heal. Allow the healing to happen. You have to allow it. But the process and how long it takes, that's yours. And don't let anyone try to talk you out of it. Because there are people who told me to get over it, and I don't speak to them anymore. I'm sorry. I'm not throwing away 47 years of memory because you think I should just, wash my face and move on with my life. Yeah, well, nice. Over there, way back. Oh, I wish you well, way back there. But you're no longer that. And the people who, when they found out about us, because the kids said, "Tell everybody about you. Tell them who my father loved. Tell them who loved my father." And the people, their first question was not how I'm doing, but, "So what did you guys do in bed together?" Yeah, I've never spoken to those people again.
That's
no class, people. Class with a capital K.
That's tough. The best advice, what I hate is whenever somebody experiences a loss, all of the bullshit people say to them. And some of it is, I guess, acceptable, and some of it, everybody they want to liken it to an experience they had. And I think that's never the thing. The best advice I think I ever heard somebody say was, whenever somebody's experiencing a loss, what they do is they just offer, can I come and cry with you? Or can I come and laugh with you?
Yeah. How can I help?
Yeah.
That's what's wonderful about how Jewish people handle death. Mother, father, sibling, child, spouse. You do something called sitting Shiva, which is for 8 days. You stay in your house. You sit on a box or an uncomfortable chair. You don't answer the phone. You don't answer the door. You don't make food. The people in your life who supposedly love you come, keeping you company, letting you laugh about the loss, cry about the loss, cry and laugh about memories. They serve you and everybody who's attending good food, nourishing, tasty food. You gain weight that way. And then after 8 days, the shiva stops. The tradition is you leave your house, you walk around the block, which is the circle of life, and you get back into living again.
Yeah.
I think it's so wise.
I think that's cool. I never really, I've heard of it, but I never really heard it explained. The idea of connecting with those people close to you seems, but not just for an afternoon, right? For 8 days. It's probably when you need it most. It's amazing.
Well, when Joel died, nobody came here. I did it all by myself. But that took me a long time to heal from also. That nobody came and showed. Well, I got like 1,200 Facebook messages. I'm not saying I was ignored completely, but nobody came with a platter of food. Nobody came to help clean up my house or hold my hand or let me laugh or let me cry. It is unfortunate that I had to go through that totally alone. I don't recommend that.
Right.
But that's how the experience went. And my resenting that I didn't get more is a waste of my time. It's an amazing thing. I thought I'd be funny today with you, and instead we're getting very serious. Next time I want to be funny.
I don't know. When people really tell you who they are, oftentimes, they forget to add the funny bits, but we'll definitely get to it. So
next
here at
time
the end,
I'll even sing a song for you next time.
I'm looking forward to it. Right here at the end, I usually like to ask people, you were kind enough to give me the gift of your time. So if there are people that want to, and trust me, there are people that want to find more about you or see what you're doing. Is there anything you'd like to promote? Any direction you'd like to push these folks? What do you want? How do you want them to find you?
You can still buy the original Lucy book out there. You can still buy Ethel Merman, The Biggest Star on Broadway. You can still buy Ella Fitzgerald, a biography of the legendary Ella Fitzgerald. You can listen to my radio show, which is Geoffrey Mark Plays Ella. That's available on radio stations around the country, and it's on every podcast platform. It's there. So you can support my radio show. That would make me very happy. If you want to get a hold of me directly, I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I'm on LinkedIn. Geoffrey Mark, GeoffreyMark. I'm pretty easy to find, and I'm happy to hear from everybody.